In this video, I'll be showing you an effective way to retouch your wedding photos. This is the complete workflow I use all the time, and yes, results are 100% guaranteed.
Oh my God! Wow!
Of course, you can use this workflow for every other photo. It doesn't necessarily have to be a wedding. But you stick around to the end because I'll be showing you how to ensure that all the edits you've done are consistent across all your retouched photos.
That's what I'm talking about.
This video is sponsored by my YPC presets. The YPC presets are undoubtedly some of the best Lightroom presets on the market right now. They work in Adobe Lightroom, and yes, they work in Photoshop Camera Raw as well. If you're a photographer, you should definitely get your hands on these, as they will make your work much easier and much better. Check the link down below and use this promo code for a 40% discount. Discount is valid until the 31st of October 2024. Now, before I open my images in Photoshop, I usually process them in Lightroom or Camera Raw first. In this instance, I'll be using Adobe Lightroom, but you can do the same thing in Photoshop Camera Raw. So if you don't have Lightroom, don't fret. You can use Photoshop. So I've got Lightroom opened up here with all the pictures that I'll be using. For these pictures, I'm going to be using the YPC Mama from YPC Preset Pack 2. Why? Because I've used it and I can see that it works. And I've already color graded all of these, and I did it with the YPC Mama. This is a raw one just to demonstrate it for you to see. So YPC Mama right there. I'll just decrease the temperature a bit, increase the exposure a bit, and that's our before and that's our after. Of course, the other presets will work as well. YPC Vintage Papa B will work, YPC Aya would work. We could go to Green Vibes, we could go to Bring It On, we could go to Bronzy, and all of those will work. But for these ones, I'm using the YPC Mama, right? So this is what we have, and you can look through all the pictures that we have here. Yeah, if you want to know how to edit your pictures in Lightroom, just check this link right here and watch that video. So now that we've got our edit ready, I'm going to go ahead. Let's start with this picture right here. And that's our before, that's our after. Nice color grading. So using this picture right here, I'm going to right click, edit in, and edit in Photoshop, and then just wait for Photoshop to load up. So we've got our picture in Photoshop here, and this is my interface. I'll first go ahead and unlock this layer, and I'll duplicate the layer. I'm going to zoom in and attempt to clean this light stand right here without using the remove tool. So I'll just select the remove tool, shortcut is J, and I'm going to brush over this. Wait for it to do its thing. Yeah, and it removed it. It kind of did a decent job. It's not perfect, but I'm alright with that, so I'll leave it. Okay, I'm going to zoom out, and I'm going to attempt to remove this one as well. I'm going to be using Adobe Generative Fill to help me with that. Make sure the selection is a bit bigger, and Generative Fill, generate. If you've not got Generative Fill, there are other ways to go about it. If you want to know how to clean the background without Generative Fill, you should let me know in the comment section down below, and I'll drop a video on it very soon. Okay, this is what it gave us. It actually gave us somebody standing there. We don't like that. Okay, right, I think this is the best of the three, so I'll select that. Go back to full view, select the topmost layer, Ctrl Shift Alt E, or Command Option Shift E, just to merge everything to the top. And I'm going to crop this picture, so C for crop, and I'll make sure my aspect ratio is 4:5, just because I'll be posting on Instagram. Okay, like this. Make sure Generative Expand is selected. If you've not got Generative Expand, you could always go with Content Aware Fill, but yeah, Generative Expand, that's what I have. So I'll check it, and I'll wait for Photoshop to do its thing. Right, so this is what Photoshop gave us, and that's, yeah, it's quite decent. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll keep this one, and I'll select the topmost layer again, Control Shift Alt or Command Shift Option E, merge everything to the top. Now the next thing I'll do is clean the skin a little. So I'll do a little bit of frequency separation, but before the frequency separation, I'm going to clean some hair on the bride's face. We've got some flyaway hairs. I'll actually not deal with the flyaway hairs in this particular picture for a few reasons. Because the picture is so zoomed out, attention is not going to be on that. I mean, obviously, if you want perfection, you could take your time and then do all of that. Yeah, so keep cleaning these. And when you're editing pictures like this, pictures that are so zoomed out, you don't really have to spend so much time skin retouching, because attention will not be on the skin. You should actually spend a lot of time doing your color grading, right? I like duplicating my layers, yes. And I'm going to go to my actions. For this one, I'll be using my YPC frequency separation. So I'll be using the 16-bit. And I'll take the blur radius down. For this picture, I'll be using about 3. Yeah, okay. So if you've not got a frequency separation action, you should check this link, or you should just check my store. You'll get a free action there for frequency separation. So I'll zoom in and select my mixer brush tool. This is the mixer brush tool. Okay, I'm going to decrease the size. Yeah, it's working. All right, just make sure you're brushing in the direction of the skin. You can copy my settings up here if you've never used a mixer brush before. As I said, this is not a frequency separation video. It's just a Photoshop retouching video, an overall Photoshop retouching video. Let's go watch my frequency separation video. And yeah, and what I like to do when it comes to wedding photos, one tip I'd actually like to give you is don't over retouch. These are not beauty photos, so don't overdo, right? Just to clean the skin a little bit. So that's our before and that's our after. Not doing too much. Remember the neck. I know people retouch all the time without retouching the neck, but don't be that kind of photographer. Just retouch the neck area as well. Clean these. Make sure the skin is smooth. Okay. When somebody's got hair, just be careful when you are doing any frequency separation. So this is the technique you use for frequency separation. But as I said, for my weddings, I like to be very light on it, because you don't want to do too much. You don't want your pictures to look fake. Yeah, that's our before and after, and that is good enough for me. We're going to go up here, merge everything to the top again. Right, to give it even more dimension, I'm just going to go to my color balance, go to my shadows, drag the slider to the left, maybe -2, maybe add 2 here. Okay, cool the shadows down a bit, so that cools the shadows down a bit. I'm going to add another color balance layer, and for that I'll work in the mid-tones, add some warmth, +3, -3. In fact, let me go further, so -4, I'll do 4. Okay, that's our before, that's our after, and I'm going to do another one. And for that, I'm just going to put some blues in the highlights. Good. I'm going to group everything together, and that's our before and that's our after. I know it's very subtle, but yeah, subtlety is key. So yeah, that's how we're going to keep it for now. I'm going to merge everything to the top, and we're going to attempt to fix the sky. So there are different ways to do a sky replacement. For me, here's what I'm going to do. I'll go back to Lightroom and I'll go to some of the pictures that I took that had beautiful sky, like very beautiful sky. So some of these pictures are very beautiful. So I'll take this one to Photoshop, right click, edit in Adobe Photoshop 2024. Wait for it to open here, and I'm going to select. So select that and duplicate it. Now we have a sky layer. If you don't have a sky layer, you could just go online and go download some skies online. You could get a sky picture to download on Google. So once the picture is here, we're going to make a selection of the sky, Control J, go back to this picture. In fact, bring the sky on. So let's bring this, let's drag the sky to here. I need to enlarge the sky. So I'll just make sure the picture is larger, covering the entire area. Yeah, and select this layer, go to select sky, and then we'll make a selection of the sky. After that, select your topmost layer or the sky layer and hit this icon right here. That is going to put everything in a mask, and yeah, it's looking good. Now you could go to this area and try cleaning things up just to make sure it blends, it blends much better. You could do that, or an easy fix for that would be to make a selection of it and try using generative fill to try and then fix it. See, so generative fill does a pretty good job at fixing that problem for you before and after. Right, I'll select the topmost layer, Command Option Shift E, merge everything to the top, and we're going to do some teeth whitening. So go to my actions and go to my YPC teeth whitening. I've got a free teeth whitening action as well, so if you don't have this teeth whitening action, just go download it for free on my store. Select the topmost layer, make sure a brush is selected and the brush is set to white. Okay, oops. Yeah, make sure you make sure the brush size is small, and then brush the teeth like so. So while brushing the teeth, I'll just brush the eyes. You could actually do the teeth separately and then do the eyes separately, but not really got much time when you're editing weddings. So yeah, but if you have the time, definitely do it. But I just brush the teeth and the teeth and then the eyes together. Some teeth whitening on it. Okay. Everything. All right. Okay. Brush this one better. Let's brush all this side. Okay. Yeah, much better like that. Okay, and I'm going to go to whiten teeth, red, and I'm going to desaturate the reds a bit more, yeah. And on the entire teeth whitening layer, I'm going to decrease the opacity of the teeth whitening, because as I said, subtlety is key. We're not trying to create something that's fake. Yeah, okay, now that looks good. I'm going to select the topmost layer, merge everything to the top again. Now we're going to make this pop if you've watched my video on how to make your pictures pop, you can relate. So we're going to use the levels, hold down Option, and then drag. Okay, so once you start seeing these in it, that means it is getting overexposed. Those places are getting overexposed, but I'm not really worried because this is for my subject only. Okay, I'm just going to push in my blacks as well. Right, so let's let Photoshop select the subject and see if it does a good job. Okay, so that's Photoshop selection, but I'm going to make sure obviously this is selected as well. So hold down Shift and then add to the selection. There are actually different ways to go about this thing that I'm doing. There are easier ways to go about it, definitely easier ways to go about making selections. Whichever works for you, you can use it. It's fine. Alright, you could just change your threshold and then maybe use something like the magic wand, or use that magnetic lasso tool. That's better, way better than what I'm doing. Okay, so yep, make the selection. We'll fix this layer. For this one, I'm not actually interested in making it perfect, and you'll see why in a minute. Okay, so just a rough selection. First, make sure that is included. Make sure the ears are included. As I said, it doesn't need to be a perfect selection. If you get a perfect selection, happy days. But if you don't, that's also fine. Make sure I select the mask on the levels and then hold down Option and then delete. So what you can see is that levels, that effect with it, is actually being applied on the background. That's not what we want. So select that mask, Control I or Command I to invert it. Now as you can see, our subject is popping, and that's what we really want. So I'm going to refine the selection. So as you can see on the ears, I'll just select my brush. Remember, black hides, so I'm just going to brush with black just to hide it on the ears, just to make sure that the face is looking good, the head is looking good. You can go around your selection just to make sure everywhere is perfect. But for this picture, what I'm actually focusing on is the face. So yeah, that's good for me. I'll select a curves adjustment layer. I'm going to darken everything. I'm going to select the levels layer, the layer mask on here, hold down Option and drag it here just to copy the effect. I'll go to this layer mask here, hold down Command and I to invert it. Remember, black hides and white shows, so I'm showing white on this one. I'm showing white on the background, meaning the effect is going to be on the background. So the darkening that we did here is going to be on the background, and on this one is going to be on the subject. If I hold everything down and Command G, group them, you can see the before and after, before and after. The effect is just very beautiful. Merge everything to the top again. And I'm going to sharpen this picture now. So filter, sharpen on sharp mask, and add a bit more sharpening, maybe about 90. Yeah, that's like before and after. Before, after, yeah. If you click it, it will show you the before. Just some slight sharpening, but yeah, I dig. It's nice. Now I'm going to cool down the shadows a little bit. So I'll go here and I'll go to selective color. I'll go to my blacks and I'll drop the yellows to this side. Okay, just adding some blues to my shadows. I'm actually going to add some cyans as well. Just one, before and after. Right, and to make sure this is affecting only the shadows, this is what we do. You make sure the mask is selected. Go to image, apply image. Oops. Make sure you select the layer 8. That's this layer right here. Invert. Make sure you set to multiply and hit OK. So as I told you earlier, black hides and white shows. So where the white is, it is making sure that that is where you have your shadows. I'm going to go to image, apply image, and do the same thing again. Yeah, as you can see, the sky is getting dark. That means it is hiding our effect from the skies, which is, I mean, the brightest part of our image. So I'll do the same thing again. And when I zoom in, you can see that effect is mostly on the shadowy areas, shadowy areas, whatever. Okay, as I said, subtlety is key, so I'm going to hold down, I'm going to hit V just to select my move tool, and I'm going to drop the opacity to about 70%, no, 60% even. Before, after, yes. Right, and then I'm going to create a faded film look. There are different ways to create a faded film look as well, but I'll go to exposure and I'll move my offset to about plus 4.2 just to make it more cinematic. Cinematic. Anyway, this one I am not going to put it on. If you want it on just the blacks, you could just drag this here, but that's not what I'm trying to do. I want it to be on everything, so I just decrease the opacity to, let's say, about 50, 40. Yeah, about 40 is fine. What I'd like to do for this one is add some rainbow to it. I'm just going to add some rainbow to it. I just think it's going to look nice. So I'll go to Google. I'll type rainbow on black. Right, and I'm going to select this one right here. Oops. I know it's a low res, but I'm going to copy the image regardless and paste it in Photoshop. You can just hit copy and paste actually. And I'm going to enlarge this a bit. Yes, we don't have a lot of pixels. Yes, I know all of that. It is for a purpose. Select, hit backspace to delete. Select. Okay, so if I wanted it here, I just put it here and then go to the blending mode and set it to screen, and you have a rainbow there, beautiful rainbow there. Okay, so maybe have some rainbow somewhere here to do that. Okay, I'm just going to do it this way, and I'm going to decrease the opacity for this one, maybe about 50. I want the effect to be very subtle. You need to kind of look closely to notice the rainbow. That's how I want it. Create a mask on it. Increase the brush size and then just brush on my image just to make sure that there is nothing spilling on my picture. Okay, I'm going to merge everything to the top again, and I'm just going to add some vignette. Camera raw, it's down, midpoint, I'll take the midpoint down. Feather, make sure the feather is quite a lot. Also before and after. Oops. this down. Hit OK. That's our vignette, but that's too much, so I'll create a layer mask. I'm going to brush my subject out. And I know I'm the one who created the vignette, but I want my subject to be popping. Okay, so that's our before and after. That is looking great. I'm going to brush here as well, so you have the vignette on the edges. I'm going to decrease the opacity to about 60% for the vignette. Merge everything to the top. The last thing I'm going to do is clean this right here. See some Elite RXV or whatever it is. That's the brand for that cat that I'm going to clean. Okay. Yeah, and that's it. So that looks like a beautiful picture right there. That is a beautiful picture right there. This is how we started, and this is where we're at now. And you're going to go ahead, go to File, Export as. This is the file size you'll be getting if you're okay with that. Copyright and contact info, yes. Convert to sRGB. You should make sure you've checked convert to sRGB if you're going to be posting on social media. And I could take the quality up to 7, but then it's going to bump up the size, which I think is going to be fine at 6. So I'll leave it like that, and I'll export. And let's say on desktop, and I'll say Retouch 1. Now you could end the video here and then go, because this is the workflow I use. This is how I retouch my wedding photos. But to make sure that your edits are consistent across all your images, because that's what you really want, you should go back to these pictures. Let's say, for instance, I was going to edit this picture right here, right? Right click, editing, Photoshop 2024. And there are some key things that I did for this one. For this one right here, such as this making the picture pop, that effect I did here, and also this one. So the color grading, this kind of boost I gave to the color grading, that one, yes. So I'm going to copy that one to this image just to make sure my edits are consistent. So I'll do the same thing, unlock this right here, duplicate the layer, make sure I crop well. Say if I'm cropping like this, that's how I want to crop it. I'd crop it like that. I'll do my frequency separation, and then I'm going to let me close this one. I'll go to my frequency separation, do my frequency separation. After that, I'll go bring this color layer back onto this, and then I'll continue do my T whitening and everything. You can see before and after. So yeah, just to make sure that all my pictures are consistent, I'm going to go ahead, do everything I need to do, and I'm going to bring my layer, the one for pop, my group. I'm going to bring it on, open the group, make sure I delete these masks. I'm going to select subject. Once subject selection is done, I'm going to create a layer mask. So the layer mask is back on this one, copy it to the other one, then invert it, and now we have our pop. Obviously, if it's too much, decrease the opacity because subtlety is key. I'm going to merge everything to the top, go back to the image, do my sharpening and everything, and I'm going to bring my, where I cooled the shadows, where I put some blues in the shadows, I'm going to bring that one here, and I'm going to bring my faded film effect as well. And then on this one, I'm just going to delete the layer mask, create a new layer mask, make sure the layer mask is selected, go to image, apply image, go to layer 1, make sure invert is selected, multiply, yes, and then okay, and then repeat it about 3 times. Image, apply image, that is good. If you feel like it's too strong, you could adjust it. Feel free to adjust it. Exposure, looking good, like that on 40, and I'm going to merge everything to the top, do my vignette. The vignetting doesn't have to be the same, so it depends on the picture. All right, do my vignette. You're going to have a consistent color grade, a consistent retouched photo. So that's how you do it. That's how you get beautiful wedding pictures and still get consistent colors, a consistent retouch across all your images. So I do this for all my pictures. Not all my pictures, but all the pictures that I'm retouching for the client before delivering it to the client, of course. So yeah, this is the complete workflow. This is basically how I retouch all the beautiful wedding photos you see on my Instagram page. Could I have gone faster? Absolutely.
Oh yeah, baby.
But I just wanted to simplify things so you understand things much better, and I hope you do. This tutorial contains all the important things you must know as a photographer, like teeth whitening, sharpening your pictures, frequency separation, vignetting, fixing your background, like everything that you basically need as a photographer, as a good editor, is included in this video right here. So yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching this video to the end. I hope you learned a thing or two. If you have any questions, please drop it down in the comment section below and I will be sure to answer you as soon as possible. If you like this video, hit the like button and smash the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. And if you don't like this video at all, smash the subscribe button as well, because who knows, you might like my next video. I'm just getting started. Also, I'll be dropping another video this week, so stick with me for that one as well. Remember, I am Sir Angel and this is your photo chef. If you don't have the YPC presets, definitely check them out. You will not regret it. Discount code is here and discount is valid until 31st of October 2024. Remember, discount is 40%, so look sharp and get yourself the YPC presets. It'll make your life easier. See you in the next video. Remember to stay creative and as always, keep smiling.